Hi guys, welcome back to my 2020 bullet journal setup. It's going to be a new year and I'm really glad to be here to show you guys how I set up my bullet journal. Firstly, we'll be doing my key for my bullet journal. I'll be using the same format as I did during 2019. Basically, this was an inspiration by Amanda Rachley by applying this technique where I insert a key instead of writing it directly inside the bullet journal. So this is my key, as you can see, as displayed in the video. Next, I'll be doing my content template. As I'll be starting school around July and August, from the start of January till July, I probably won't have any things on. So I decided to make this content template for me to reference to for my school year. As I usually start school in January, for me to start school in July and August means that I won't be doing a student template for the first 6 months of my bullet journal. So hence I decided to keep this in mind for my future bullet journals in July onwards. For my school content template, for each semester, I'll be putting a new timetable and syllabus list in case I'll be changing my syllabus or timetable. For each month, I'll be inserting a school tracker which involves me taking my attendance for my lectures and classes, and my homework and grade tracker. I will also be including other stuff in my monthly bullet journal such as my mood tracker, weekly log, and goals and events page, etc. depending on what I feel like that month. I made an essential section just because I felt like this is important that I have included in all my monthly bullet journals regardless whether I have school or not, which is my mood tracker and habit tracker. As you can see, I use a flap to put my key and content template into my bullet journal, and then I secure it with washi tape. This is so that I can reference it to it whenever I want without needing to flip back and forth throughout the pages, and also giving me more space to use my bullet journal for other stuff. Finally, I'll be starting my setup for 2020. So I felt like doing this format where I wrote 2020 in this format with this font. Next, I'll be writing the quote of the year, which is for me, it says, "If you never try, you'll never know." I tried to change the format of my quote by using different lettering to emphasize different words. I found this quote on Google and personally felt like this quote resonates with me a lot, especially for this year. I felt it's applicable because this year I'll be starting a new job and I'll be going to university. So yeah, I guess there's a lot of things to look forward to this year. And very honestly, I'm excited and scared to try it. But hey, you never know. As I was inspired by the quote that I wrote, I decided to try something that I've been wanting to try for a very, very long time, which is doodling something without sketching or having a base below it. As you can see, I kind of messed up the first doodle, so I decided to cover it up and draw again on another piece of paper. To be very honest with you guys, I actually filmed this part like 6 times with different pieces of paper and had to remove the paper because the doodle wasn't as nice as I wanted it to look. But finally, I came up with a design that I'm actually satisfied with, even though after looking at it in a while, I felt like there were some imperfections in it. But hey, I guess some things that I got to learn too this year is not everything can look as great, and not everything will be perfect, but it's more of completing something that makes it worth it. I don't know, I felt like this was something that I've always wanted to try, and I'm glad I tried it in the end. Probably may try again one day if I felt like I improved a lot, but right now I felt like I'm not at a very good standard, but I can do better one day. So I hope maybe one day if I felt that I do better, I can send you guys or show you guys a video of me sketching that piece of work. So I was also inspired by a lot of Korean street fashion these days, and I felt like drawing something that's inspired by some of the clothing that I saw online. I also wanted to try this very doodly style, which I'm not used to because I usually like to draw with a pencil sketch below, just so that I have something to reference to. So I hope you guys don't mind how messy it may look, because in the end I just tried my best, I guess. Next, I decided to add some details to my line art or doodle by coloring the skirt, as I felt like the skirt was kind of short from the picture that I drew, so I decided to lengthen it by just using a black marker to make the skirt longer. As I had some washi tape around, I decided to try this format that I've been wanting to try for a very long time too, which is decorating the clothes that I drew using the pattern that the washi tape has. This method is used by manga artists to screen tone their work so that to give their comics a different shade of different color. So I decided to try this format by first pasting on the washi tape onto the clothing that I want to design. I tried to keep the pattern as similar as possible so it doesn't look too messy, so I had to arrange the washi tape in in a certain angle so as to make sure that the pattern doesn't overlap or go in the wrong direction. Next, I use a penknife to carve out the clothing just to ensure that I'm decorating the parts of the clothes that I want to decorate, not the other parts of the clothes that is already decorated or I have no intention of decorating. For those who want to try this technique, please do be careful because the penknife could be really sharp, or you could even possibly cut through the bullet journal itself. I was lucky because I was using a spare piece of paper that was thick enough to ensure that I don't cut through the bullet journal. So I recommend you guys get a really sharp penknife, but ensure that you don't use too much strength, and also please be careful. If you need help with this, please get help. Hopefully a guardian can help you with this, if not someone who can carve things without getting themselves hurt. I'm sorry the video is going to be really long this time, as most of it is just me showing my progress of how I designed my bullet journal for this year. And yeah, so how have you guys been? How's your 2019 gone for you? And I also like to mention I'm really sorry that I'm not going to make a 2019 overview or flip through, as I felt like my bullet journal for 2019 contained a lot of personal stuff that I felt me revealing it on the internet may be hard for me to censor, especially because I use my bullet journal a lot and every day, and I use it usually for my school, for my relationship with my friends, family, and etc. So yeah, it's a pretty personal thing for me to show, and I felt I didn't really feel comfortable. But if you guys really want to see it, I will upload the video if you guys are really interested. Next, I'm just adding more patterns to my art just to make it look more detailed, like adding different shades using the highlighter that I have, and then decorating a bit more of different lines to give more details that the grey highlighter can't show. Finally, I'll be starting my 2020 calendar. So I made an overview calendar using this simple format. I like the font that I used for my 2020 at the beginning of the bullet journal, so I decided to use that and a bit of simple calligraphy. Next, I've been wanting to try this bullet journal font, which is writing the words in a lighter shade using a highlighter before writing the calligraphy of the word using a black pen. I used this to title the months of my 2020 calendar. Then afterwards, I wrote the dates of each month and etc. I repeated for all the next few months, and yeah, that's basically what I did for my 2020 setup. I'll be doing the same for all the months of my 2020 calendar. So I'll do the font for the title as mentioned just now, and then I'll do my calendar in this very simple way as shown above, by just writing the dates in and just underlining the days of the month. As I'm going to complete my 2020 calendar, I also felt like asking, have you guys prepared for 2020? I honestly, I'm not sure if I'm ready for it. It feels like it's going to be another day for me, which is weird because it's coming in a week, and I'm honestly not sure what I'm supposed to feel. I'll be starting work on 6th Jan, and I'm really excited because this is the first time I actually got to work and earn my own salary, as I never really had a chance to do so, as my parents were really strict and they always wanted me to focus on my studies instead of going to work. So yeah, I'm actually really excited and really looking forward to it. Also, as I'm doing my calendar, I actually felt really happy, as I guess I always enjoyed writing something as simple as a calendar. I don't know why, it just makes me happy. But yeah, I hope you guys aren't really that bored by watching me do my calendar. It's pretty tedious and I try to speed up as much as I can. So yeah. Also, as you can see and hear, I'm trying to attempt small talk just to not bore you guys out too much as I'm making my calendar. As yeah, it's kind of a boring thing to look at, but yeah, I just hope you guys keep holding on. It's going to be finishing soon. Also, I didn't really edit this part out because I guess I felt like it's very nice to see it all come and play out. To see the entire calendar just play out like that. So yeah, I decided to leave it in. Next, I'll be adding a new section that I haven't done since 2017, which is adding a future log or monthly overview. So what this log does is I write down all the events throughout the 12 months of 2020. Since I do my bullet journals by month, I felt like this is a good opportunity for me to take note of events that happened before I do the bullet journal of that month. So example, if I have to take note of something that will be happening in April, it'll be easier for me to track using this monthly overview instead of waiting till April to track the month and what's going to happen in that month. I regretted not doing this last year as I ended up having to paste post-it notes everywhere to make sure that I remember the event's going to happen in that month, which I felt like I could have actually made a future log instead, and it will make my life a bit simpler. So what I'm doing right now is writing the dates of all the different months, and then afterwards writing the events in the next column next to it, as you can see. This part is going to be very repetitive again, as you can see I'm just writing all the dates of the calendar. Then I separate it using a simple line for the events. Next, I use a highlighter to create the title for each month. I kept my font simple and I didn't do any calligraphy, though I intended to do it though. So I repeated the same progress for the rest of the months. Next, I'll be doing my 2020 personal resolution. Since my school year starts in July or August, I'll be doing my resolutions for school closer to the date. Next, I'll be doing my 2020 recommendations. I've seen many people use this format during their 2020 setup, so I decided to try it too for this year. What this setup does is I take note of things that was recommended to me throughout the year, be it movies, television shows, music, or books. You can have many categories for this recommendation list. For me, I chose movies, TV shows, music, and books, as I was a type of person that usually like to do all this stuff more than the rest. If you guys have any recommendations, I would love to check them out. I ended up changing the titles of the recommendation boxes because I forgot what I put initially, but in the end, I still wrote the same things. The next setup is inspired by Amanda Richley. You can check out her channel for how she does this setup. For me personally, since I don't have a Polaroid like her, I probably will be taking photos throughout the year and pasting them in the boxes below that I'm drawing. So I did 12 boxes to represent 12 months of the year. After 12 months, I'll take photos and put all the photos in this book to keep record of things that happened throughout the year. I think this is a good way to help me keep track of my times with my friends, take photos, and give some memories to look back on throughout the year. As my school will start in July and August, I felt like this is a very good way for me to take care of myself mentally, as I guess looking back on such things make me really happy. Next, I simply wrote the titles of the months in the boxes. So when it comes to that month, I'll try to take as many photos as I can and paste it within that small little box that I have. I repeated it for the last 4 months of the year, which is September, October, November, and December. Finally, I'll be completing my setup with a 2020 wishlist. This year, I have actually a lot of things to buy that I hope to get before my university starts. So yeah, I guess it's a good way for me to track what I want to buy. By the way, I actually lost some footage, so I couldn't finish showing you how I did my washi taping. But here is the end of my 2020 setup. As you guys can see, I decorated my entire 2020 setup with washi tape. I hope you guys like my 2020 setup. Thank you so much for watching. And once again, I hope to see you guys next year. Bye!